Well, hello everyone, Texie88 here and welcome to another retro gaming review. And now I bring you Kickoff for the Sinclair ZX Spectrum, released by Anco Software Limited in 1989. So I'll pick one player. Keyboard. Match length first, see what the match length is. Yeah, 2 5-minute halves will do. Single game. I'll pick National 442, I think. Well, right, so the computer wins a toss, so they decide whether they play it up or down the pitch. Nice bit of colour clash there. It's also a bit... Right, so I'm the white players. Now, the first thing I've noticed is that the lines don't actually... reach to the edges of the pitch, which is a bit of a pig. Yeah, I saved it. The penalties are the one time when you don't. The one time when you don't control. The one time when the computer's not. The computer doesn't control them. As you probably notice, this is an early example of the ball not sticking to your feet. I don't know whether this was the first one on the Spectrum to do this. Oh, blast. Why don't the lines extend to the very edge of the playing area? And look at that ball. It actually looks like it's under that line. Darn it. Even the players are running underneath the lines. One thing that irritated me about the Amiga version of Kickoff and its sequel is that sometimes if you were chasing after an opposing player who had the ball, sometimes the computer would just decide to do a sliding tackle for you rather than you being in control. I don't like that because there's a real danger that you could end up committing a foul through no fault of your own, and you can actually get a red card and get sent off in this. And it really ticks you off if you get sent off just because your computer decided to turn your player into a right fouler. Another thing I would have liked that was in the Amiga version is some kind of scanner so I know where all my players are. There doesn't seem to be one of those in this. Sound effects aren't too bad. Graphics are probably about as good as they're going to be given the Spectrum's limitations and of course its attribute problem. Oh God. Ugh. Oh, Sometimes it can be hard to time changes of direction because of the fact that the ball doesn't stick to your feet in this. Did that too early then. Oh, damn it, turned too early again. At least it's got that marker showing you where the goals are. Oh, did a sliding tackle when I didn't particularly. Oh, damn, I turned too early again. Look, he ran underneath the goal line again. He ran underneath it. Oh, damn it. Right, they're throwing. Oh, darn it. Oh, I accidentally kicked that off. What? I didn't do that. The computer made in my player do a foul that guy. I really wish it would not do that. That is one thing that I hate about kickoff. I really, really hate that about it. It's not unique to this Spectrum version. I said even the Amiga version was renowned for doing that kind of thing. I really don't want that when there's a real danger you can get sent off. No, I'll try a 4-3-3 formation this time. At least in this, there's actually someone next to you to take a kick off, to take a kick off, which is more than could be said to the two previous football games I've reviewed. Yay! Equalised. I mean, I know it probably wouldn't have been particularly attractive, but I would have liked if there could have been at least some kind of white noise effect or something to cheer whenever a goal was scored, because it's a bit anticlimactic if it just says a goal by player XYZ. I mean, I know it's a Spectrum, there is a limit to what it could do, but surely it could have had something rather than just a bit of text saying who scored. Ugh. Scrolling can't really keep up either. Ooh, look at that colour clash. That couldn't be helped, I know that. And you couldn't really have all the players the same colour because that would have been far too confusing. Ooh, just missed. Again, I'd really love to know where my players are. Yay! Taking the lead. .3 minutes and 18 seconds of match time left. At least it stops for a sec. You fouling bastard. At least that wasn't me this time. But again, I've got no idea who to pass to because I can't see anyone because there's no radar on this version. Would it really have killed them to have put some kind of radar on? I mean, with something like Sensible Soccer, you didn't on the Amiga. You didn't need that because it zoomed the pitch right out, so you didn't actually have to have that. Oh, damn it, off the post. But here, when it's zoomed in quite some way, you need something. Otherwise, you've got no idea where your players are, and you could end up passing to nobody. Ugh. By the way, on the middle right of the screen, it tells you the number of the player that's got the ball. Oh, poo! That was bad. I was trying to curl it round the keeper a bit, but I couldn't do that. Well, the controls are responsive, I suppose. It does look a bit primitive for 1989, though. He got it over his head. Nice one. Now I've just got to try and keep this lead in order to win this match. With that ball underneath the line, that centre line again. Well, this is certainly an improvement on Peter Beardsley's International Football and Gazza's Super Soccer. Oh dear, I hated those ones so much. But even though it's an improvement, I didn't kick that. Damn it, what is it with the kickoff games doing moves by themselves? When I want to kick it, I will tell you. Not before. Why did the clock not stop for that bit? It should have done. Yay! Fox, there's no way they're going to come back from this. I'm 3 goals ahead and there's only 22 seconds of gameplay left, so there's no way they're going to catch up now. Oh, you foul, ref. I've just noticed that you do get a line by the player you're controlling, but it's so close that you can barely see them. So anyway, that's a full match played, and now I think it's time to wind up this review. Well, one thing I've noticed, the instructions say that Kickoff is an accurate soccer simulation with a full-size multi-directional scroll pitch and the markings, goals, etc. in correct proportions. Yeah. Well, I don't think in a real situation the lines would sort of peter out at the edges the way they do in this, and I certainly don't think that balls and players would be going underneath the painted white lines on the pitch. But anyway, let's get on with the usual breakdown of the verdict. Graphics, not really that impressive for a game that was released in 1989. Honestly, I I honestly felt that they could have been a bit more detailed than they were. They just look like a bunch of blobs running around the pitch, and it's not. I know that graphically the spectrum's limited, especially when it comes to colour, but surely it could have done a bit better than this, and especially as you've got the problems of the painted lines not continuing right to the very edge of the playing area. What's that all about? It just looks a bit grotty and unprofessional. And also, I also can't help but feel that the actual goals themselves are a bit plain. I mean, I know it's viewed from above, but it just looks like a big box, and it and so it for something that came out in 1989, it just doesn't really cut it visually, especially with the players and ball going underneath the lines. But that sound, well, the whistle sound is okay. I mean, it would be nice if there could have been some kind of sound, or even something akin to white noise to playing to represent a cheering crowd whenever a goal was scored, because otherwise it just seems like a bit of an empty experience. This is 1989, and by that point the 128K Spectrum had been out for 3 years. So it just seems like a bit of a missed opportunity. This mixed up with some of the problems over the graphics again give the game a bit of an unfinished feel. It almost feels like some things had been planned but didn't have time to come to fruition. Gameplay, it's a bit fiddly, if the truth be told. You don't get the scanner that's on the 16-bit versions like the Atari ST and the Amiga, so more often than not you've absolutely no idea where your other players are when they're off screen, and that makes it really hard to plan tactics and passing, and amongst other things. I mean, yeah, you get the marker showing where the opponent's goal is, but it's still a bit vague. And it can be quite hard to determine when exactly it's safe to change direction and not run away from the ball and have the ball come with you, like you might have planned to. Last ability is probably fun for a few goes, but I think it's grotty exterior for a game released in 1989, and its rather limited sound capabilities combined with its really dull menu interface probably means it wouldn't hold your attention for long. I mean, it runs at a reasonable enough pace, but it just doesn't really cut it on this version, and it just feels like a generally unsatisfying experience. And I also, as I've said, I don't like the way that the computer can sometimes make your player kick the ball or even do a sliding tackle. That happened a couple of times. I ended up fouling an opposing player. I mean, that would have really irritated me if either or both of those players had been sent off for a sliding tackle that I didn't even ask them to do. So I give Kickoff on the Sinclair ZX Spectrum 6 out of 10. runs at a respectable rate, but it's rather unfinished, unpolished, and unfinished, unpolished, and generally not not up to standards for 1989 exterior. Just coupled with the gameplay issues I've already mentioned, let it down quite significantly. So anyway, hope you enjoyed this review. Hope to catch you on another one soon. Texie88 out.